Hello, hello. How is everyone? I hope all is well. I hope your family, friends that you may have overseas are well. If you have family and friends anywhere that are in a dangerous position, I hope God sees fit to bring them through. Uh, but child, listen. Now, Momo came over to the crib last night and broke down some tea. I've still not been motivated to watch the news, but I have been a little bit more motivated to spend more time on X because at least with X, I'm going to get the truth. So now I just got some truth and I want to know what you think about it. Now, the breaking news that I missed, and I don't know how long ago it was that I missed it, was that there is this famous hotel in Dubai that is built like a sphere, and it's referred to as a seven-star hotel. Very popular, very expensive. They have reported that that hotel has been hit with drone fire of some sort. I've seen a few different videos, and the last video, or I guess I should say the most recent video, was revealing that the flames were growing. Because again, in the beginning, it you could see some evidence of where it had been hit by something, but as the video went on, the flames literally started to grow up the side of the building. Now, because I've never been to Dubai and I don't know much about any famous hotels or eateries or anything else in Dubai, I was really still stuck on my original question, which was, and we talked about this last night on X. It was, I didn't think that we were into it with these people, right? I knew that Israel was into it with them, and I knew that Z was going to be supportive in some aspect on that side. Maybe I have Iran and Taiwan or something. Maybe I have them confused. I don't know. But what I just discovered was this sounds a lot like deja vu with Ukraine, right? Ukraine was the big closet, had all the skeletons and the bones in it. Ukraine had labs and scientists and all of the things, and there were allegedly tunnels. There was reportedly a compound of sorts owned by a certain family that contained quite a bit. Of course, I can't get deep into it, so this is the code talk. You're gonna have to catch up with it. The interesting part about Iran, from what I just read, and I don't know how true this is all allegedly, this is all protected under Fair Use Act. Um, Iran allegedly has the meat and potatoes of the Epstein files, right? They have a lot of the original recordings, and it was reported that they also allegedly have evidence, videos, recordings, documents of blackmail against some of those people who reside over here in the US. So the way it was broken down from my understanding was we wanted that evidence. That's how it was broke down to me. That was the way I understood it. We wanted those recordings, we wanted all of that evidence, And allegedly, it's being reported that this evidence used to be here in the U.S. But again, allegedly in 2019, this evidence, these recordings, these documents, and all of the things were split up between three places. Now, I'm not going to get into the names of those places because I think that those are probably forbidden words, but it's all coming out again, and it's going to be based on who you follow, who you interact with. So if you see a video like any other platform, you like it, you're more interested in what they're presenting, you want to hear more about it, you can always like, share, follow, or comment. And when you do that, that type of information that's being presented will start to kick in your algorithm. But they put this on the black man, which, the breaking news the other day was that Michael has gone to glory. So it'll be interesting to see the body double, the twin, the clone, or whatever it is. It'll be interesting to see what they look like, how different the facial features, the body features, the movement, the teeth. It'll be interesting to see what they look like. But I'm getting away from it. Allegedly, Barack was the one had this stuff back in 2019, and for whatever reason, they felt it was necessary to split it between three different countries over there, with Iran being one of them. So that's what the people are saying. Quiet as it's kept, that we wanted that information, and so when I'm hearing it, I'm listening to it, and it's starting to make sense because, mind you, all of this stuff that you guys are hearing and reading about now, we was reading it and trying to give it to you 3, 4, 5 years ago. I know. Um, so understand that this is stuff that they knew about long before we did, right? I've always been in a rush for everybody to start finding out what I was finding out as I jumped down the rabbit hole. But the reality of it is, if you show your hand too quick, you give the opposition a chance to get on top, take advantage, lead, run, hide, whatever you want to call it. So it's making a little bit more sense now. Same way with the cartel leader from Mexico, right? Incho. The military went over there and got him, and what was it? We wanted the list. We wanted the list. But this is what makes everything so crucial to our nation, is the fact that this shit is coming out nationwide. Everybody from every country that can watch our news or watch our social media, or they're in the underground getting, reading, watching all of the things that we're watching, everybody knows now. And remember, we were sitting on top. We were the land of the free and the brave, and all of the things, and we were untouchable. And every time something happened to a country or a nation, they would call out for help, and we would always run to the rescue. And we was sitting, and now we at the bottom of the barrel. We are with the ashes, the crumbs, the rocks. We have just about been brought down to nothing. And this is not even getting into the last 4 years. I guess I should say at this point it will be the last 6 years, because we 2 years into this administration. But can you imagine the hit our reputation took? Can you imagine Don going out there making these demands and trying to negotiate and bring people to the table, and the stuff, and this is the other part of it. Remember, when he's going and sitting down at the table talking to all of these different leaders and these different nations and organizations, they only come back and tell us the little part that they want us to know. We never have a heads up of what we really went over there and told them people, asked them people to do, or demanded something. We never know. It always comes out after the blow has been struck and somebody or something has fallen. Then that's when the truth comes out to us. But listen, I'm not being choosy. I'm a beggar that's not being I'm not being choosy. I don't mind as long as the evidence, the information is coming out to us, so we know. We have to know for the purpose of understanding. And here's the thing. It's interesting how certain groups of people or individuals or organizations or whatever you want to call them, they have access to other individuals and organizations and groups and this, that, and the third that can help break everything down. There are people that live in the bottom of the rabbit hole, and that's all they do is go through and analyze and read and study and break down and go back to 23 years ago and pull up some old info. A lot of them take the time to put this stuff together so that people like you and me can understand. Now, I can always fall back on my sister. I can always fall back on her. She gonna make me understand by any means necessary. But a lot of people don't have anybody like that. But if you jump down that rabbit hole and you start interacting with the different platforms that are trying to bring you the information, you will you will find somebody that has broken it down for you. And I'm going to tell you something, especially when you got questions or you may not fully understand, get in them comments. Because in them comments, baby, that is where the tea is at. That is where a lot of the clarity is. And you know, I'm a person that I admit to everybody, I don't like reading. I don't like to read nothing unless it's juicy and entertaining. And usually, whatever is juicy and entertaining, it ain't putting no money in my pockets, but it is what it is. So if you sending something to me and you ain't gave me no heads up, you ain't told me, gave me no explanation, asked no question, you ain't said nothing, I probably won't even open it and look at it, because for what? You just drop something off at me, so when you want to talk about it, then you will talk about it. Then once I get some understanding what you're talking about, then I don't have no problem looking at it. But it is people out there who they are dedicating all of their life, their time to getting in here and getting this information and putting it out. And I'm going to tell you something else. And I've said this before. I've asked this question in different chats. Hey, could some of these people that's out here presenting stuff and telling us and explaining and breaking it down, could some of these people be on the inside? And they said absolutely. A lot of these people are on the inside. They have direct access to this. But understand the way that everything been going down lately, they have to be very careful getting on here and revealing or explaining and talking too much, because I'm sure that Siri and Alexis and anybody else out there in the AI sector, I'm sure they listening close. They reporting and telling everything, so they have to be very careful. And remember, Pam Bondi just set Congress up. They messed around and gave Congress them logins and access to the files that was unredacted and all of the things for the purpose of watching to see who y'all looking for. What are you looking for? What are you looking at? What are you searching for? What are you reading? Or what are you sharing? Are you doing? So understand, and this is just my opinion. I don't know if this is true or not, but this is communication. So it's something for you to think about. And if you had an answer, please feel free to share it. But for me, if you had to, and all this is a buildup. It's like they're on a fact finding mission. They're on a mission to get all of the evidence, all of the documents. It's almost like a Law and Order, some type of a detective or a police show, a movie or something on TV. before you get ready to go after the kingpin or the queen or the king or whatever, you better come and you better come correct. You better have all your ducks and everything in order, or else that's your ass, right? So this is what this feels like to me. We're running around gathering evidence and getting everything so that, when it's time for them to stand before the judge or the admiral, whatever you want to call him, they can be held accountable for their actions. And I'm very intrigued. I'm very excited. I very much want to know what's going on. I I I have to limit myself as to what I can really, really understand, because once I jump down the rabbit hole, I know I might not come up for air for a long time, and it's just not good for you. So, man, it's just I heard something the other day, and I forgot to ask my sister about it. I'm gonna have to ask her though. I heard something the other day that when we went over there and grabbed the old boy from Venezuela and got the oil and the money and whatever else, what was presented to me was that this individual that popped all of this off took that money and put it in his private Swiss bank accounts overseas somewhere. Now, I don't know how true this is. I didn't want to look it up. I don't want to believe it, so I'm not interested in trying to see if it's true or not, because y'all heard it saying all good things come to an end. So I don't want my bubble to be busted right now. I have waited too long for this day to come when the whole world had a chance to see and read and watch and listen to all of the stuff that we have been reading and watching and listening for quite some time. And it further confirms that before Don left office the first time, he took preemptive measures, preemptive actions to get the ball rolling on things that he wouldn't, or may not be around to finalize. He put certain stuff in motion. So this was coming. It was just had to be done a particular way. And so I was telling one of my other sisters tonight that I laugh at how they have all of the new people that are upset, who don't understand, who may not want to do research, who have a personal emotional vendetta against what Don is standing for right now. Um, those people are being sidetracked. They've been thrown off the focus with us over there fighting, because so many people are talking about it, so many people are sharing videos. It's so much out there that they got you looking right. They got you looking to the right. When the reality of it is, a lot of those names that was in those documents, those people are being snatched up because they're going to be held accountable. I believe that those kids, they have to come up with a way to I don't know, preserve the kids, figure out how they're gonna keep the kids going. Um, I saw something the other day. They was talking about Blue Ivy, and one of the reasons why Blue Ivy is so quiet and seems so humbled and sometimes even cold when she's out with her dad is because she's already been introduced to the field, which is why she was allowed to start wearing weave and makeup and nails and all of the things. And um, uh, Blue Ivy loves her sister and she tries her best to protect her, but it'll be interesting to know whether or not um, they may feel like, I don't know, what are you going to do with the kids? How do you trick a child into believing that this body double is their parent, their birth parent, right? I question that because when you look at Michelle and Barack and how they came on the scene with they quote unquote kids, right? It's mighty funny how he gets out of office. The kids are they're separated because the kids go to college. Then all of a sudden the kids little stuff started coming out about the kids. One of them was getting high smoking a blunt or a joint or something, and then the other one was liking an opposition son or something, and then next thing you know they didn't want to have the last name no more. They wanted to drop off the name. They wanted to divorce their parents, and it was like, oh, I didn't know they was fighting. I didn't know they had got into it. And I believe during that time when all of that information was coming out, and again, I don't know. I'm just guessing. Hi Miguel. I'm just guessing, but it's kind of like, so what happened? Did they find out what we found out? What Joan Rivers told us before she passed about their so-called mother? Were they ever introduced to their real parents? Did they when they were introduced, was it explained to them that these were your birth parents and, we adopted you or we rented you out for a little while or whatever the case may be? Was that ever revealed? Because that would make sense as to maybe why, the kids, have been upset with their parents to the point to where they want to lose their name, right? Same thing with Angelina Jolie, right? Her birth daughter, the daughter that her and Brad Pitt created, has don't want to have nothing to do with her dad and has dropped his name. So as the kids get older, like how do you know what I'm saying, acclimate them to these fake parents? What do you do? Do you try to trick them? Do you see are is it easy to trick them? What do you do? Do they disappear because they woke up to the trick and you don't want them talking about it and it's not like what happens next? I mean, when I look at the Kardashians and I'm like, okay, so y'all was having all these kids because y'all thought what, they wasn't gonna lock y'all up, they weren't gonna do nothing to you. So now your kids are much much bigger, right? What happens next? Because at the end of the day, they didn't and don't want the people in the circle talking about it. They don't want you telling the people about it. They don't. Yes, the files will come out. Yes, a lot of stuff is going to be learned and they're going to know about because of these files. And the more this shit go down and the quicker this shit happen, they're going to find out that a lot of stuff that they refused to believe was true was actually true and still is true. But the struggle with me, with my belief and understanding, I'm riding for what's right. Now, if you gonna expose the evil and bring down the whole clan, I'm with you. I don't want you to shit on us though while we support you bringing down the evil clan. So if you did put funds over into your Swiss account, I I would hope that's to find a way to give to the people without having to go through Congress or the Supreme Court. Like I don't know, but it's very hard for me to keep both feet on one side of the line because it's like at one minute I'm standing with 10 toes down, and then the next minute some BS show up, and it make me question. Wait, because now they just said the other day that Comer or somebody released bills testimony or deposition. And in the deposition, it was revealed that Don Juan was proven innocent. He was not guilty, and he was eliminated as part of the evil that everybody wants to make him be. I didn't listen to the video. I didn't see it. I have it. I'm hesitant to listen because I know I will end up having 20 questions and I'm gonna have to just go down the rabbit hole to figure out what's going on. I try not to overwhelm my sister too much because it can be depressing. Um, when you can see the play and you know the play and you can see the psyop and all of the things that go with the whole movie, it's easier for you to listen and do a little bit of research and talk to friends and family and get an understanding. But me, I want to verify and confirm myself because it will be more helpful to me believing in the cause, believing that we really are trying to become a better nation. um, I understand that any money that they may give us, whether it be in tariffs or whatever the money is coming from that they're gonna give us, I'm sure we're gonna end up paying it back. Absolutely, I believe that because they don't want to do. They're not going to give you nothing for free. I do believe that, but for some reason, I really believe in the Nasara Jasara. I believe that we are aiming to create that world for us. Um, and I know this would really piss some people off, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. You know, if people are so upset with the way things are going, I totally agree that yes, you should find somewhere else to go. You should go somewhere that will make you happy, where you can be happy and you can live the life that their government is, given to them. Because make no mistake about it, as you go through your files, you will find out the United States is not the only country that was affected by the shenanigans. There were just about every country out there has been affected in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So you have to be careful about looking at the grass in your neighbor's yard because, without you getting into the files, getting into the research, getting into the news and the statistics and analyze where it is you're trying to go, you don't know if it's better here or better there. But I will say this. If Nasara and Jasara is meant for us to have by God's grace and mercy, I want it. And I may sound selfish, but I do not want to share it with somebody else who didn't want to stand beside you in the fight. But then when we came out victorious, they wanted to inherit everything that came with us winning the fight. I don't want to share with them. You couldn't stand beside me. You got to go. You got to go. Now I did a report about probably almost 10 years ago now. I did a report on Texas where Texas said they didn't want to be a part of the U.S. no more. They wanted to be their own. They wanted to have their own. They wanted to do their thug thizzle, whoop, whoop, whoop. And I thought to myself, they're within the United States territory. How do you think you're going to branch off and be by yourself and not with the U.S.? Are you want us to cut the dirt, put a line in the dirt and let y'all float off in the ocean and do y'all own thing? Because how are you gonna have a military? How would Texas establish their government? How would they defend themselves? What organization or country are they wanting to be a part of? Because apparently we are cliques. The countries are cliques. So you gotta come sit at the table if you know. I, it I did not do a deep dive. I did enough of a dive to understand that they really wasn't with the BS. But then look at what we've already experienced, right? Their governor or mayor or whoever he was, when the shit hit the fan down there, him and his family had already packed up and went on quote unquote vacation. And he left his state in turmoil and then came back and begged for forgiveness and said he didn't know what was going on and he didn't know. He knew a whole lot. That's how he knew to go on vacation when he did. So he wouldn't get be jammed up over there with his people. So I mean, listen, if they're not going to dig in and research and read it themselves, they're not going to know, they're not going to believe, and the decisions they make will continue to be bad. So I am definitely for kicking out anybody. Anybody that don't like that, because listen, we've had presidents my whole life, and some of them I wasn't with the shit that they was doing, but I also wasn't into. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't researching. I wasn't listening. I wasn't studying. I wasn't doing any of that. But it was certain things that would come up that I didn't agree with, but I didn't realize how important it meant to my life and well-being, nor the future of my children, or my grandchildren, or my great-grandchildren, my nieces, my nephews, my cousins. It did. I didn't. But maybe that was just immaturity. I don't know. But now I'm very much in the know, and it's about time for me to stop working and get ready to get somewhere and sit down. And I will in due time. But until that day come, I need to be very much aware of what's going on because you know I would I don't know I don't I want to be alive to receive God's gift if that's what He wants to do is make Nasar Jasar happen, then He's going to give him the strength and support that he needs to make it happen. I would love to be alive and present. I would love to be able to teach, educate, guide somebody else on how we were blessed with God's grace and love to be able to receive what was originally intended for us all along. Nobody could have ever told me that the Constitution had been changed and that this stuff here, what we live in now, has been planned out for a very long time. And without researching, reading, and educating yourself and paying attention to everything that's happening, you would never understand because, again, I don't want to have a discussion with people who are going to talk about what's going on from emotion. I want to talk about the facts. I want to talk about what's documented. I want to talk about what's been proven. I want to talk about the patterns, the repeats, what we're watching. I don't want to talk to somebody that's going to talk out of emotion. Man, it's somebody told me tonight. Every time we talk about this, it sounds like the movie Demolition Man, and I told her, okay, that's a good reference. That's a good analogy. That is probably exactly what we're looking for. That this is where we're headed. People out in rural areas, they may be okay above ground. But for the people who just, they will fall for the okie doke and then want to fight. Listen, let me give you an example. So the world said that there was something in the water, and that in order for you to survive and fight whatever bacteria was in the water, you would have to come and drink the Kool-Aid. So the people that didn't drink the Kool-Aid, the people was mad at. They were upset with, and they really didn't want to have anything to do with them. Uh, but a lot of the people that didn't drink the Kool-Aid are the people that are in support of freeing up our country, bringing us back to some type of a credible normalcy. Um, we want to fight the good fight. We want to be a better nation than what we've been our lives, right? So we don't drink the Kool-Aid. So now when it come time to poop or get off the pot, those people that were so against what is happening right now, but they went and drank the Kool-Aid, well, they can just hit the switch and then those they're gone. They don't have to worry about them. They ain't got to argue with them. Now, it's going to be a lot of the people that didn't drink the Kool-Aid that are going to end up being divided for some reason or another. And then that's when you're going to end up with those that are living above ground who are taking chances on getting demerits and getting credits against them because they did something bad. And then you're going to have people that refuse to participate and they're going to have to live below ground. Now, that's how Demolition Man, the movie Demolition Man with Wesley Snipes and Rambo, that's how it was on the movie. And they would go above ground to get food and to do all of the things. I've seen a report that talks about in 2030 there won't be any cars. There won't be any cars because everything will be smart cities. Hmm. Well, we've done a lot of research on the smart cities, and well, in the smart cities, everything is electric. I don't want Alexa, Siri, electric, hybrid. I don't want none of that. I want an old school with a carbonator, a carburetor, an alternator, gas. I want that's what I want. And I'm sure those cars will probably be forbidden in smart cities, which means you'd have to have an electric car, something that if, to punish you, they could flip the switch and, your car won't work no more until they want to give it back to you. And that's, I got a little bit of a problem with that because I paid for the car. Ain't nobody finna tell me what, when, where, how, what I can do with it, what I want to do with the car. I'm going to do what I want to do with the car. Like, that's too much. So I figure by the time we get to what? Let's see, it's 24, 28. So we got 2 more years in this administration. If you look at what's happened and transpired in the first 2 years, you can pretty much imagine what's coming in the next 2 years. Now, we're not going to talk about the subsequent 4 years following that because everything ain't going to be done in 2 years. I can assure you of that. Everything is not going to be fixed in 2 years. So then come 28, between 28 and 32, we might can finish it up. Understand by 35, 38, when the Olympics is coming, I guess then the people will start to see the smart cities. But think about it. We're talking about 2, 4, 6, 10, 10 years from now. A lot of people here won't be here. A lot of people will have been passed on and gone. A lot of people will, suffer some fate. But a lot of people won't be here to see it. And a lot of the youth that are out here in the street running rampant, they won't have a clue because they don't care. They haven't seen, understood, no matter how TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Meta, Snapchat wannabes. No matter how the people sit up and try to tell them they're not paying attention. Hey, sassy baby. I'm good. How are you? I'm just on here because I was coming to give a little bit because I knew I couldn't give much. But girl, the other night we had a good old time on X. We was talking freely, and the stuff I have the knowledge that I have acquired has been just about overwhelming for me, girl. I've been on this wine all weekend. The weekend ain't even over yet. How are you? I hope you had a good day today too. But yeah, I'm very excited for Nasara Jasar. You can Google it. I have posted the form before. I'm not sure if YouTube will let me post it again. I don't know. I definitely can put it up on X, but I like the idea of living debt free because they said the man over there in Iran, the leader, well, first of all, the last thing I read was I guess we took out the commander of the military, the army or whatever, the army leader. I guess we took him out. But now the president, ambassador, whatever his name is, girl, he done got up on the camera and told us the next time he swing, it's gonna be below the belt. Now I'm listening to the video and I'm listening to the translator, and the translator said that what he said was when he swing again, he gonna swing on Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. I had a wonderful day. I just got in the house. Ooh, the gumbo sounds good. I want me some fish. I want some catfish so bad, but I ain't gonna find no catfish this time of night. Not down here. And I could go to Dos Amigos, but eh, I won't. I'm gonna go in there and pop some popcorn in a minute. But listen, the man in Iran said when he gut punch us again. Cause they tearing Israel ass up. They done hit one of our military spots over there too. I didn't get to hear how bad it was, if there were any casualties, but he said when he gut punch us again, he gonna hit us in Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Now you know what that mean, don't you? He finna hit them in their pockets, in their wallets. He finna hit the financial system because those are the three major credit reporting agencies. The three major, they're not the only ones, they're the three major reporting agencies. And if he gonna hit them, that means they ain't gonna know who owned the house, the car, who owed who. Ain't nobody gonna have no debt. We'll look up and everybody over here in America will have a credit score of 800 or 850. It'll be out of this world. That means they gonna hit that dollar because the dollar ain't digitized yet. They say it's coming, but it ain't here yet. The dollar is not digital yet. You know what, Mr. Man? Go ahead on and gut punch us. I want to see something real quick. I would love to wake up Monday morning, Tuesday, any day next week. I would love to wake up and check my FICO score, and it says that my FICO is 850. Now, if he gonna hit the credit agencies, the only way to hit them is, I guess, is if you hack the system, right? Now, could it be that you just slipped and told us something that you didn't mean to tell us? Because if y'all remember over the last 10 years, think about it. Every time you turn around, T-Mobile had a data breach. Verizon had a data breach. Equifax had a data breach. TransUnion had a data breach. So and so had a data breach. American Express had. Are y'all behind all of them data breaches we've been having over the 10 years y'all been playing with us? Because they say y'all the ones got all of the stuff over there. And if y'all been blackmailing folks and telling them you going to release stuff if they don't do stuff, that what y'all been doing over there? Y'all been playing over here in our credit all this time. Well, go ahead on and hit them then. I want to see something. I want to see if you really a man of your word. If you really can hack in there and make it happen. Because if you hack in there and make it happen, that means you're gonna throw a lot of people off their game. And I got a few creditors. I would really appreciate if you could go ahead on and wipe that deck completely clean. Just take me out the database like I never existed. I would love that. Could you imagine if the world woke up one day and everybody's credit was perfect? Could you imagine somebody getting up saying, I got an 850 credit score, girl, I'm going to get me a new truck? Could you imagine them going to get a truck, getting in debt the whole time somebody else over here trying to figure out how to reverse the hack so that the people can get paid, but y'all can't reverse the hack? Could you imagine? Because old boy put a lot of debt back on the state, said the government ain't gonna be responsible for it no more. It's gonna be out of the state budget. Well, if all of us got 850 credit score, that's pretty much a perfect credit score, which means we don't owe you nothing, we ain't paying you nothing, you ain't gonna get nothing. What we gonna get our money from again? Because they finna wipe out the income tax and they about to turn the three wise men into the three wise bitches. So, where is the state gonna get the? How is the state gonna run if the federal don't help them? It's almost like they are segregating the states. Think about it. If you was to Google the top 10 states to receive the most government assistance, like the food stamps and the government insurance and you have the Section 8 and all that, if you was to Google the top 10 and then turn around and Google and say how much funding did they lose, hmm, some one of the states that will come to my mind will be New York, right? Now, I don't know if New York is a red state or a blue state, or if by the time 2028 get here, if it'll even matter. But if your funding has been cut tremendously, what does that mean for them? Because people who live in New York, they stacked on top of each other, right? I've seen the videos where the people go to show you an apartment and it's really a studio and a small studio on top of that. But if you rent the studio, your rent is going to be $3,000 a month. The people said the snow was stacked up on the side of the road. Most cars couldn't even get out. They wasn't cleaning the streets like that. If the government cuts your funding, New York, what does that mean for your people? Y'all want to have smart cities. Who's going to pay the bill for smart cities? Now, I can only imagine if they're going to turn a city into a smart city, what I would suspect there's going to be rules and regulations. There's going to be community guidelines, such as you can't live in a smart city unless your car is smart and your house is smart. Well, that kicks me out. Send me on to the country. I don't want a ring doorbell. I don't want no electric car. I don't want a hybrid car. I don't want AI in the house turning the lights on and off, the air on and off, the heat on and off. I don't want none of that. I don't want the AI locking doors and windows. I got it. I'm good. But what if you didn't set up something so that as soon as I cut the wires on the AI and I don't have artificial talking to you no more, is that gonna snitch me out? Is that gonna send a message to the grid? That address 22610 has now lost all cloud activity. There is no cloud moving in the house. Are y'all gonna send the smart police to come and check my house or give me a ticket? Y'all gonna freeze my account and take my credits out and because if that's how y'all gonna live and that's how you're going to discipline people or hold consequences against people is by going into their bank account taking out whatever fine you've assessed to them, then you're gonna cause financial duress for those people. They won't be able to pay their mortgage, they may not be able to pay their rent, they may not be able to pay their truck payment. Now you're gonna force them out of. Is that what they meant when they said that everybody would have their own home? Because hell, I mean, I'm watching Lowe's and Home Depot. I'm watching them build up these little garages and sell them for little homes. Or should I say the backyard shack, the storage shack. They got them at Best Buy, not Best Buy, Home Depot and Lowe's now. They got them out there. You can go buy your little house, put it in the backyard. Buy your little storage shack and put it in a mobile home place, I guess somewhere, and you can live in there. Now, what the people don't realize when they start looking at these ADUs and these little backyard shacks and these small homes and now you want to go get containers and stack them on top of each other and build all these houses. You can go buy one of them little houses for about $2,000, $3,000, but nigga, it need wiring and it need plumbing for you to have a toilet and a shower and a sink and heat and a stove. And all of that shit is extra. See, and the people not paying attention. This is how you get sidetracked. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I seen some badass cribs, honey, made out of them containers where they done put them together, but they out in the woods. They out in the woods. What are you going to use for electricity? Solar panels? Because if you in the woods with electricity, you're not off grid. Being off the grid is being in the woods with no electricity, no internet. That's off the grid. So I see so much every time I turn left in those documents and go somewhere else and read something else. Because see, we done been through all of the documents. I spent my last 6 years going through all of the documents, trying to bring it to y'all. I'm burnt out. It ain't nothing in there that I can hear the rest of it from the rest of y'all. Because now everybody done seen the documents. They're in the documents. They're reading. They're getting understanding. And they're bringing it to y'all. And the difference between me and them is that they're bringing it to you all on platforms that will allow them to talk about it. YouTube is not generally one of those platforms. So that's why I say whenever we have another deep dive or we want to get into it or we want to talk about it, then we should go to X. That way we can speak freely because a lot of you guys weren't here many nights when I was trying to bring that information to the tube. So words that we can't say, you're not subjected to the code words like Kool-Aid. Now I know a lot of y'all remember Kool-Aid, right? And Cinemax, Boss King Anthony, he came up with Cinemax for old girl. I love it. That's what I call her now, Cinemax. Now I still call Jeff Jeff. I tell you something else too with this AI. This AI was released to y'all so that it would be hard for y'all to know the difference between what's real and what's not real. Now, damn, y'all know that wasn't Tupac. That wasn't Tupac. Let me tell you, I saw that video with Tupac. I watched that video a couple of times, and what I noticed was one question that was in my mind was, Tupac, why is your face all the way up in the camera like that? Oh, let me tell you. He didn't want you to see the background behind him because if you saw that, then Google would tell you exactly where he was at if that was him. We've seen at least three two, at least two Tupac lookalikes. But that video had him looking the same way he looked in 1999. He ain't aged a bit. Well, we saw video of him over there in Cuba, and he had aged, had a beard, and mustache. Hell, I believe he had hair. The Tupac I seen had a bandana on over there and under a cap. It didn't even look like him. So, now it's easy to trick the people into believing that Tupac came back to prove a point. Tupac wouldn't come back to save the world. He left for a reason. And if you notice in them files, they tell you about Michael. Hey, Michael, how you doing? God bless you. Happy New Year, brother. Hey, Tupac, Happy New Year. God bless you, brother. They still around. I don't give a damn about Jeff or Cinemax. So I ain't got nothing to wish them, but we know you walking around too. And my sister just said the other night that Jeff in Israel is like freaking frat. Apparently he was born, I guess, somewhere in Saudi Arabia, and his name was something else back then, but I guess that doesn't mean a lot right now. When you start hearing them mess with the food and the water, that's your sign right there. Something is wrong. But some people, they don't want to hear it. You can't tell them nothing. They got their own ideas and they not interested. They don't want to read nothing. So it is what it is. You gotta let it go. But yeah, I was that bothered me a little bit. It was like, okay, on one side I see this, and on this side I see all bad, and I don't want to be shell shocked with new information right now. They done told me that old boy been exonerated, that he wasn't over there messing with them kids. These old heads over here say yes he was. They don't want to have nothing to do with him, and that's their business. That's fine. But I want the Sarah to Sarah, and I hope God bless me to be here when we get it. So, thank y'all for stopping through. I appreciate you, and I'll holler.